Paradox regime. Hey everybody, it's Kniss. I'm back. I know a lot of you have asked where I've been, and I'm here with my brother George today to make a brand new video. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to make some candy. And this is a chocolate walnut coffee bark that I used to eat a lot of when I was allowed to eat butter, coconut oil, and palm oil. But mean old Dr. Grundry took my family off from all of those things. So our fat bomb days and chocolate bark days seemed like they were going to end. Everyone said chocolate bark could not be made with oil. And I did some experimenting, and guess what? I found out they're wrong. So today we're going to have chocolate walnut coffee bark that is totally compliant for ApoE4s. Hey, let's rock and roll. We're going to get this recipe started. First thing we're going to do is open up these boxes of chocolate. I have pre-opened 2 of them. The best thing you can do is open them up like this, take them out of the box, and give them a good whack on the counter. Pour it in. This one's already done, and I have one more to do. So we've got 3 boxes of 4-ounce Baker's 100% chocolate, cacao, and now to that we're going to add a 1/3 cup of olive oil. Here we go, we're adding a 1/3 cup of good quality olive oil. You also can add walnut oil, macadamia oil, avocado oil. Any monounsaturated oil works just great. So we're going to put that in there, and then all we have to do is put it in the microwave on high for 2 minutes. While it's melting, you add a 1/2 cup of erythritol. Always put it into an old coffee grinder so that it doesn't get granular in the chocolate. To that, I add a large tablespoon of instant coffee, and then grind it in the coffee grinder. Okay, now we have the olive oil incorporated with the chocolate. Quick 2 minutes in the microwave. If you don't like using a microwave or you don't have one, all you have to do is mix this on the top of a double boiler. It's the same thing, just this is a little bit faster. Now what we're going to do, I've ground up the erythritol with the coffee, instant coffee, and we're going to put that in a bowl because today I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla to it. If you add the straight vanilla to this, I don't know if it's because it has olive oil in it. I really don't know, but when you add liquid vanilla to this mixture, it will seize. It doesn't, it's not fun. So what I do, my vanilla is almost empty here. I make my own, and I'm going to quickly show you how to do that. I add a little bit of it to the dried erythritol, and then mix it in so it's a pretty dry mixture. The liquid is what makes the chocolate seize, and we don't want that. We want it to flow nicely when we pour it out for the bark. So I just incorporate it as much as I can. It's a little bit like a paste, but nothing like adding a straight liquid. So now we're going to add that to the chocolate. I've used a 1/2 cup. You have to adjust the sweetness of this. Dark chocolate is a food that it takes some getting used to. I'm used to eating it with not a whole lot of sweetener, but all you have to do is adjust that up and down to your own personal preference, and you'll find it as you make this, you'll use less and less. So for 3 boxes of very dark 100% cacao, we are using a 1/2 cup with the coffee and a little bit of vanilla. Now once we get that all incorporated, we will add the nuts. I've taken 2.5 cups of walnuts, and I chopped them up and I roasted them so all of the natural flavors come out. One thing that Dr. Grundry always says is that walnuts make the inside of your vascular system slick. So we like to use those as often as possible. Now that's 2 cups going in now. We'll mix that all together. This is such a quick recipe, and everybody in my family just loves it. It's a lot less expensive than buying chocolate bars already made. It doesn't have any sugar in it, and it doesn't have any lectin in it. It's a pretty natural product, and you can control the sweetness. So now we are going to pour it out on a tray. It's just super, super easy. What I'm going to do is I have this on a 12 by 18 cookie sheet, and I have a Silpat underneath it. If you don't own a Silpat, you can use wax paper. It works fine. I've never used parchment paper. That might work too. I just am not sure. So what I do is I start at one end and I kind of roll it around because I like to get it as thin as I can. And you can see it's just flowing every which way. This is the perfect amount of chocolate for this size pan. The other thing that you can easily do is if you don't like nuts, you can make it plain. You can use any type of nuts that you like that are compliant. You can add dried cranberries that are unsweetened. I'd resist on using very much dried fruit because the sugar content is too high. But if you like nuts, this is perfect. Okay, so then what I like to do is I reserve a half a cup of nuts, add these to the top, try and get them fairly even on here, leaving a little spaces to add a little bit of flavoring. I'm going to do this one with, I made one earlier today that doesn't have any flavoring. This one I'm going to do with 2. My mom has organic orange trees and she made fabulous orange zest. So I'm going to sprinkle half of it with this wonderful dehydrated zest that she made. You open this jar up and it's just, heaven. Okay, so we're going to sprinkle this in a fairly heavy amount so that you get a nice flavor of orange and chocolate, which is such a good combination. And the other half is going to be a little bit more of a surprise. It's cayenne pepper for those of us that love that little bit of spicy hot chocolate. So you don't want to use too much. Oh, that's a little bit of a large chunk, but it'll be okay. I'm probably going to be the one that eats these. It'll make my nose run, but I'll survive it. This one's done. All we have to do is put it in the refrigerator for an hour or 2, and then we'll take it and break it up into bark. I have one in the refrigerator that's already finished and that I made this morning, so it's ready to break apart into bark. And I do believe my brother George is going to be taking a bunch of that home with him. I'm putting on my rubber gloves because this is kind of a messy job. Sometimes worse than others, but I'm used to working in these. All right, here we go. We're on a Silpat. I pulled this off from I pulled it up off the cookie sheet. You can see that it pulls right off. So let's just go ahead and start breaking it. And I like to break it into bite-sized pieces so that it's not too gigantic. The nice thing about this bark is that, of course, it has no sugar, but it also has no saturated fat. So for people who have ApoE4 gene, it is just really wonderful. It's hard for us to get a dessert that's compliant. Also, just a really, my brother loves this. Also, you do not need very much of it because it's so rich and the flavors are pretty strong. Vanilla, and I almost forgot. My bottle is almost empty. I need to buy some more alcohol for it. But this is how you make your own vanilla if you never have. I've been making it for probably, I don't know, 40 years or so. I just bought some new vanilla beans. This one probably has 40 beans in it, and I just continually add to the bottle. You can use 750 milliliters of brandy. You can use vodka, or you can use cognac, anything that you want. I learned from a pastry chef to use brandy because it gives the vanilla a really nice warm flavor. You just get your brand new fresh beans, give them a slice down the center, and put them all in the bottle, and then fill that up. What you're going to do with this, you're going to fill this up with liquor of your choice, and then let it hide in your pantry for at least 6 months. And then as time goes on, you can just keep filling it and filling it. This is the lowest that mine's gotten for a long time, but I have a lot of vanilla sediment in here, and it's very easy for me to pour new liquor in. And with the addition of new beans, it doesn't take me but a couple months to have a new supply. If you enjoyed the presentation today and would like more compliant plant paradox recipes, please subscribe to my channel. Coffee, bark, nut bark, oh, I screwed that up.